In this video, I'm going to discuss some of the changes that have been made to the invoice quotes and purchase order screen. What I want to talk about first is, for this particular person here, this Malcolm handyman, the current financial year that I'm in is 2013. The dates for this video, for these videos, are currently set at as if my financial year is running from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. So depending upon whatever country you're in, obviously that could be different, but that's what it's set for. America, in Australia, England, etc., we use different financial periods. Now, so just bear that in mind. I'm running from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. If I open up the invoice screen, you will notice something that is up the top here. It's telling us that we're running from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. However, let's have a look here. We actually have an invoice appearing on this screen that was from the 1st of January 2012. It's actually from the previous financial year. How is that possible? And here's the catch. With Easy As, previously up until now, if you have any outstanding invoices from last financial year, and when I'm talking about outstanding, I'm talking if you're using this payment received area, and you're recording income received against invoices you hand out. So until that's recorded as being dealt with fully, until you've closed that invoice off completely, it's an outstanding invoice. So currently we see that we have 5 outstanding invoices from 2012. Up until now, to see outstanding invoices, you'd have to click on the Preview Previous Financial Year icon down the bottom here. If I open this screen up, you'll see that it now only shows these invoices. This screen, or this button here, is always going to be available. It's still going to be there. Easy has had numerous requests over the last few years asking if we can combine information onto one screen. So it took a while, but they've managed to accomplish that for you. Now, by default, guys, this is not possible by default. By default, you do not get 2 financial years mixing. By default, you will only see this according to this financial year. If I click Setup down the bottom here, here's this new icon here. It says here, View Outstanding Transactions from last financial year on this screen. It is currently set to yes. If I click that now, you will see that they've gone, they've disappeared. The only way to get access to them now is you have to go into this area. So some businesses aren't going to want that. If you don't want that on, don't turn it on. If you only want to see this financial year, and if you want to access your other video invoices that are outstanding on a different screen, you can still use that icon. That's why they've kept it there, because it's not going to be applicable for every user. So if you do want to see it here, so you don't have to go to a separate screen, it's much easier for you to see, click Setup, turn it on. Now that isn't going to show every invoice, guys. It's only showing outstanding invoices. And when you click this screen, you only see outstanding invoices. If you've got another 50 invoices for 2012, which have already been dealt with, you won't see them on this screen. If you have to go back and look at an invoice that's already been dealt with, you have to go back to that financial year. And it's pretty easy to do. All you do is close the screen, double-click on the financial year, select 2012, select it, and you'll go back to 2012. Yes, it can be a bit of messing around, but that's what you have to do. So, if we jump back into invoices again, we're now seeing both the outstanding invoices and the current year. And this outstanding also filters, guys. If I click partial, it will show us the partial invoices from this financial year, but it will also include all the outstanding as well. So when you're clicking these icons, it's the previous financial year ignores these settings. They will come up anyway. It will always show you the previous outstanding, then it filters the current year according to whatever you select. However, this is a little bit different here. If I click January, you will see that it has filtered all entries from last year's January and from this year's January. So it can get a little bit confusing, guys, but The facility is there, and for those who want this, it's perfect. Project, great, because I can open up a project now. I can see that for Project XXX, we have outstanding invoices. These 3 are outstanding, which belong to Project XXX, and these are this year's outstanding, or this year's invoices. So that's self-explanatory. Now, when you see the setup icon here, it's applicable by screen. For invoices, you might not want to see the 2 financial years on the same screen, but you might happen to say, for quotes, I actually do want to see both financial years on the same screen. I want to see quotes that I haven't finished with from last financial year and this financial year on the same screen, or vice versa. So if I turn this off, now I only see this year's. That setting is only for the quote screen. If I jump back to the invoice screen, I left that turned on. Remember, it's turned on. I am seeing that. So you can have a different setting for the quote screen and a different setting for the invoice screen, guys, and a different setting for the purchase order screen. I've done that deliberately so that those businesses, your business, like I said, you might just want the quote screen to see both financial years on one screen, and for everything else, you want to be able to just go to the separate screen and view it. Personal preference. That's why they've done it that way. Okay, another unique change. Previously until now, you could not reprint a previous year. Say, look at the purchase order since I'm on this screen. If I click Edit, I'm clicking Edit here, and I'm seeing 2012. Previously, you would not have been able to reprint this purchase order. You would have had to jump back to last financial year to reprint it or to edit it. They've now allowed you to do that. They've changed the system so that it's only natural. You would expect that if you're editing or if you're looking at the purchase order and you want to reprint it, you don't want to have to jump back to the previous financial year. You can just reprint it now. You could copy it. If I click copy, actually I'm going to do another video. I want to discuss this copy feature, the uniqueness about the changes in the software.